I love that to have some peoples in the world where they like and they love the wine and they want to drink it. So actually the Chinese are drinking a lot of good wines. That's a very good idea.
But especially Lafite.
Especially Lafite, because what? I don't know. It's one of the best.
Yes.
Okay.
No, but in China market, as you know, it is the best.
Well.
Yes, yes. I think if you come to visit Hong Kong or Shanghai or any Chinese city, you'll be like a king, treated like.
Oh.
You must come soon.
Must be difficult for me.
But when you're making wine now, knowing it's going more and more to Asia, does it change your thinking about, how to craft and create the wine? So, as an example, when the American consumer came into the market for fine wine, I think more people were moving toward making riper styles because that is the style that they felt Americans really appreciated and loved. Is there any consideration for what do you think?
I think, and I hope, that in the Lafite group, the Rothschild group, we are staying at the same level in our mind of production. Lafite is Lafite because the terroir is like that, and because we have the habit to produce this kind of wine. If one day some people say that Lafite from Chevallier is different than Lafite from the previous manager or the next one, there is something wrong in the business. Because Lafite is Lafite by itself, not by the people's making the wine. It's because the terroir is so magnificent that the expression of Lafite is naturally made by the soil, if you want. I hope that we are not with the influence of some extra peoples saying that with the American market 20 years ago, with the style of the American, I hope that we have never moved in that way.
Direction?
Okay.
Yes.
Lafite has to be Lafite.
Right.
And the rest of the group, Duart, Milon, Évangile, Riosec and so on, are to stay the same with the process of quality, with all the technical things we can add. Okay. But the style by itself has to be very consistent.
And Terroir de Lafite, I think, has really, in my notes, have gone up in quality tremendously.
Yeah.
Is that a greater selection that you're doing?
Yeah.
So you make less now of Terroir de Lafite, or
we are more precise in the selection, and yes, in the past it was all the vats not going into the Lafite, which are going into the Terroir. Now we are working in the composition of the Terroir and the assemblage of the Terroir to create something with a consistency of tasting and so on. And if it's necessary to extract one or two vats to go into the generic Pauillac, why not?
Do you think Bordeaux will ever have a bad vintage? With all the technical and other skills that you have now and your know-how, will Bordeaux ever have a bad vintage?
I hope not. But I think that we are, with the technology and the scientific part, we are in better conditions to have, if the weather is bad, we can produce something quite interesting. In the past, when the vintage was very bad, the quality of the wine was very bad.
Right.
But as in the verse, I'm not sure that we can increase the quality in the great vintage. The great vintage are made by themselves.
Right.
And they are still great, and they was great, and I'm sure that in the past they have to be great also. So
what's the most difficult or you think weakest vintage in the last 20 years?
I forget it.
Good answer. Okay. Last question, mainly because you were talking so much about the fact that yield is not so important. And you firmly believe that not just for Lafite, but is it for all great terroirs in Bordeaux that you think that yield doesn't have to be too low?
Yes. I'm sure that all my friends running great estates in Bordeaux have no problem with the yield. They don't have to reduce specifically the yield to make their very good wines.
And some producers who are really reducing yield, do you feel that that those styles are removing terroir in some ways?
I can't understand why they decide to divide the quantity in less proportional. I prefer to have.
Hopefully, to make higher quality. That's their goal.
I'm not sure.
Well, that's the question. You're not sure. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Charles Chevallier.